Okay, it's live.
We're live and we're here tonight, an ARP meeting, just to take different ideas from the public on different uses for the remaining funds. First people up, we have the Lio Conservation Club.
Hello, I am Michelle Peter. I am a board member with the Lio Conservation Club. With this round of your ARP disbursements, we are asking for money for ADA compliant bathrooms. Thank you. Welcome.
Now, are you 501c3?
We are a 501c7. The use of requested funds will be to demolish the existing restrooms and install 2 ADA compliant restrooms, 2 instant water heaters, and ADA compliant handrails and doors. Currently, the club, it's a 70-year-old building. It has not had any rehabs done on it basically for 70 years until us new members stepped up. Since I've spoken to you all the last time, we have been able to get a new roof put on the building. That was really big. So we have been able to raise enough money to get the metal roof put on the building. The responsible parties would be all the members of the Lio Conservation Club and the board of directors. I would be the point of contact on this project. I've been the one trying to get different estimates on the project and finding people to help us with the rehab. The total cost of the materials for the project is $10,950.50. This was on, if you flip your paper over, this is from an estimate from West Richard Contracting back at the end of March. He did not put his labor on it. This was just kind of materials. We do have some members that I feel like will help us get this project completed. We have some resources for people to help us with that. The number of people impacted, the Lio Conservation Club impacts the greater Lio Township area and beyond, as anyone is eligible to rent the property for gatherings. The total population of Lio Township is 737. The total population of all townships adjacent to Lio Township is 6,380, according to the 2018 census. Accessibility of the project. This project is accessible to the entire community, including persons with disabilities, as the project is intended to make the clubhouse ADA compliant. Currently, the bathroom doors, you can't even get a wheelchair through them. My mother was in a wheelchair, and it was really unfortunate that she couldn't participate more up there because if she needed to use the restroom, she couldn't get in there. We do have available matching funds. The club has been raising funds this past year. Between fundraising, we have been able to rent it more since we did get the exterior of the building painted. We had a golf scramble earlier in August, and we have the required $5,000 in the cash match money on hand currently. The cost is on the opposite side. We just highlighted what would be pertinent to this project. If the work is scheduled as soon as the grants would be secured, we anticipate the work could be completed as soon as the end of November. But that would just depend on if contractors are available to work on the building. And that's really all I've got.
How many people are in your club?
So on the board, there are 7 members. The club has about 78 members right now. And anyone is welcome to join. It's a $10 donation. If you join the clubhouse, you get to rent it cheaper. It's $50. You say $50 if you're a member. There are rights to fish in the pond up on the hill if you're a member. So a couple little perks. It's not a lot, but
Would he hold this quote that he had from March? Will he still
he will.
honor that?
I texted him. I don't have it in writing.
Well, I mean, I just.
Sure,
Yep.
sure.
So you'll make it work.
I will make it work. I promise you. This is our 3rd time trying for this. The first time we did not fit your rubric, and
I admire you all. I think it's I admire you for what you're doing.
Thank you. My dad helped get that clubhouse built, so I want to save that building.
That's right.
Is this the last thing that you'll need to make it completely ADA compliant? I mean, do you
For
have
the-
like, they can get in the front doors or whatever?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, there's a side door that is wide enough, and there's actually double doors on the front. My husband just actually fixed the concrete seams that was
Okay,
a little bit of a trip hazard there, but yes, they can get in the building. They just cannot get inside the bathrooms.
okay.
The
Thank you
outside
for the
looks so
format you
nice.
put it in.
Yeah, I
Sure.
like it.
Mhm.
You're welcome.
Since you painted the outside, it looks really nice.
Thank you. That was a bunch of girls with hard heads that was gonna get it
We fix
done.
women, believe you me. No offense to anyone else.
Yeah.
Stan, we're outnumbered here.
Yeah, you might as well give it up.
Story of my life.
It's the way it should be.
Okay, so you're requesting the $5,000,
Yes,
okay, with a match, okay.
yes.
I think that's all I have.
Okay,
Thank you very
great.
much.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Michelle.
Next one up is Perry County Parks and Rec. Greg.
Just hear it.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Apologize, I'm one short on these.
Is it what you emailed?
What you
with the
No,
quote?
no, it's this letter here that I typed up, but I've got enough, but I'll have to read one.
That's
Okay.
okay. We can share right here.
Well, okay,
Yeah, we're good.
thank you.
I guess I
And
can.
then I can give somebody mine when I get ready to get done here.
Or me, I mean,
Well, you got one.
Wait, you can pick one if you need.
I've got one.
You've got one,
Yes.
okay.
I don't have to do the memory, so I have to read.
Okay.
Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity. I'm asking for $27,519.98 to purchase 2 mowers and 2 backpack loaders for Perry County Parks and Rec. Currently have a 2005 Country Clipper that's carbureted and a 2017 Cut Cadet or 48-inch cut mowers, and I would like to replace them with the 2 larger cut mowers. The vendors I spoke with were not interested in a trade, so the current mowers can be auctioned off with purchase of the 2 new mowers. The 2 new mowers are 60 and 61-inch mowers and are EFI and should reduce the amount of time and fuel it takes to mow. It takes us 2 full days to mow all the 9 properties, the courthouse, North Annex, South Annex, Sheriff's Office and Detention Center, the animal shelter, Eagles Bluff, Wilkerson Park at Rome, Riverside Park at Magnet, and the airplane crash site at the Millstone. The courthouse, sheriff's office, and the detention center and the North Annex are big properties and take us a lot of time to mow. Each property takes roughly 3 hours to mow, trim, and blow off all the sidewalks. However, with the addition being done, that will shorten this a little bit here. The backpack blowers I'm requesting are bigger and more powerful than the handheld models we are currently using. The current models are residential models and struggle to move material when you have to blow into the wind. The backpack models I'm requesting are commercial grade and more suited for the job we do. The commercial blowers have adjustable tubes that allow you to get into tight fitting places. The new blowers also have a starting handle on the side of the unit that allows you to start the blower without taking it off. The mowers and backpack blowers are made in America and will be sourced from local vendors. All equipment that I'm seeking to purchase is at government bid price or in-store promotional price. The 61-inch scab will be purchased from Fisher's for $13,500. It is possible that I may be able to get a current year model for $11,500. If Perry County Parks and Rec is awarded the money to purchase the mower, I could check ASAP and attempt to get a current year model. There were 3 current year models available at the time of the inquiry. The SCAG carries a 2-year commercial machine warranty. The 60-inch Cub Cadet will be purchased from Canary Outdoor Power Equipment for $12,900. The Cub Cadet carries a 5-year, 1,200-hour commercial warranty. The steel backpack blowers will be purchased from John's Tractor Sales and carry a 2-year commercial warranty. I checked Thursday with Fisher's and the current year model, there was 3 of them there at that time, not at the store, but 1 was there. So I won't know until I'm told if I get the money, whether I'll have to get a current year or the following year model.
Is there any difference between 24s and 25s?
Price.
Just the price.
Mhm.
For some reason, it's going up $2,000, he said.
So you would,
I'm saying, Cub Cadet told me the same thing. The guy up there at Canary Outdoor Power, he said the same thing. If we would have to go with the next year model, which he did say I would have to, he said his would also jump up 2,000 as well.
I was just curious about the Skag versus the Cub Cadet. Was there a reason that you wanted one of both instead of just both,
The
the
Cub
same
Cadet,
brand?
The steering wheel model that I'm looking at is the only mower that I have now that I can cut that hill out there at Magnet. They're kind of a restroom building. If you've seen it, how steep it is.
Yeah.
The Skag has lap bars,
Okay.
and on a hillside, you can't, it'll just break traction and run right down the hill
That
on you.
makes sense.
You
I
ain't
was
met
just
Mike
curious.
Thorne, have you?
Huh?
You ain't met Mike Thorne, have you?
Well, we had a long tractor when I first started in 2015, and up the top of the hill, the doghouse came off the and beat us down the hill. It's just a hard area to mow, and the Cub Cadet with being a steering wheel model, the back wheels push you, the front wheels turn. On the Skag, the front wheels are just kind of there to hold the frame up. You do all the work with the rear wheels, and once it breaks traction on a steep grade, you run down the hill with it. You can't always stop it.
So you'd want to get rid of your current things that you have to.
Well, I have
Or you
a,
may keep some as backup or.
yes, I'll have a couple that I will keep as backup, because it's not uncommon sometimes in the run of the summer to have one or both mowers go down in the same week.
Or need maintenance or something.
Yes.
Okay.
What are the prices of the blowers?
The,
Still not on
it's
here.
on the back page, I think.
I have a quote here, I have your quotes here if you want it. Look, did you see them?
Yeah, well,
I think,
copied it, but-
Randy sent you a copy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't, yeah,
So government price
Oh, okay.
$1,119.
Yeah, that's the.
So you're going from a 48 to a 60 and a 61, correct?
Yes,
So that's
That is gonna save you a lot of time.
yes. When I
Unless
inherited, when I took over the maintenance duties and inherited all the mowing, I inherited these bigger properties, but I only had the 40-inch mowers
Mhm.
prior, because at the parks, the parks aren't all that big.
Yeah.
You know, they're just small areas, and those mowers were great for that, but now that with bigger areas, it takes us a lot longer to mow with the smaller.
Are your mowers residential, the ones you have now?
No, they're commercial
Okay,
grade.
just your
It's
blowers
just,
are.
the blowers are residential models, yeah.
I was shocked at what those blowers cost.
Well,
They,
Yeah, but they.
yeah, these are the big backpacks that you put on the back, and
Yeah.
the one I was looking at there has a nice feature where you can start it without taking, these backpacks have to be started, then put
and
them
then
on.
put on.
And
We
this
had
model
one.
has that feature that you can start it while it's on.
We had one in
A lot of times people walk up to us and talk to us while we're
Yep.
out blowing, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
gotta shut the blower off, pop it in, then
Same.
the backpack blower, you have to take it off, start it up, and put it back on.
So
It seems like it's.
Yeah.
altogether, you're requesting,
No, maybe
Yeah,
it's
you
not.
have two of them.
Yeah, West, yeah.
Two of them.
Potential liability for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, times two.
So your total request,
27,519.98, and that might be $2,000 cheaper if I can get the current year model Scout.
gotcha.
I would ask them about traction kits also. A lot of times those are options you can put on, gives you hillsides, gives you some.
Well, I can use ag tires, I think.
Yeah, they're also, there's traction kits all the time for those lawnmowers.
do you fill your tires?
Do I what?
Do you have the tires filled?
No, I don't have any issues with the Cubs, but the Skag, most people that use the Skag know that you just can't get them on too steep of a hillside,
Yeah.
or they'll break traction and run down the hill.
Yeah, I didn't know if you filled your tires or not, because that's,
The tractor is, but
yeah,
not
that's
the
what we
mowers.
do.
The Cub Cadets have these weighted things you can buy that you put to the wheel, but I've never had to use them before.
Yeah.
I appreciate the quotes and all the information.
And thank you for
If
everything.
y'all don't have any question, I'll get out here.
I don't think I do.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Greg.
Thanks
Thanks.
for your work on this.
You're welcome. Thank you for the time.
Next one in the lineup is Perry County Council on Agency, and Jessica's
What's
here.
that?
That's Mr.
They
Jesse.
may have shared down there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Jesse Watkins with the Perry County Council on Aging. This is Susan Flamion. She's one of our board members. We're asking the ARP committee for $5,000 in matching money to help support the purchase of My Senior Center. This is a cloud-based software program. It's a great solution to streamline processes throughout senior centers. This little booklet gives you some information on the popularity of it, the features. It gives you more details on how we can streamline processes, track data, and have that all very accurate and hard and fast. We're still using pencil and paper for the most part, Microsoft Excel, Google Sheets, whatever, to track attendance, to track needs, to chart, certain things. Like we keep documentation of, somebody comes in and they mentions, they've been down or they haven't seen their family in weeks or things like that. All of that is pencil and paper for us. This software program has that feature that not only can we track activities, we can set up our activities, people can sign in for them, they can sign up to participate in them, but we can also keep a total separate chrono of what's going on in people's lives so that we're keeping up with people, making those points of contact, building those relationships with senior citizens that we've seen in our community just at the expansion of our program that it's needed. There are a lot of people who are lonely. There are a lot of people going through a lot of things, and they need somebody to be aware of them and their situation. Streamlining the process of accepting payments, reservations, participation, that frees up staff hours. Money doesn't grow on trees, as you all are well aware. Excuse me, I promise I've not been drinking yet. It's cutting into my time, but nonetheless. So those are the things that we're looking for. When we write grants, when we come to the county, when we're asking for money each year, you all expect certain numbers from us. You want to see the good that we're doing. You want to see the measures. This software will help us do that a whole lot easier. It takes us months to come up with the data that you all ask for and that we want to provide, whereas it's going to take a few clicks of a button here. Senior Centers, SWRCA is a much bigger center. They're using it in Evansville, managing many more programs than what we are. Owensboro, Davis County, they're using it. They're both the most local senior centers that are using this software. They love it. They advocate for it. They say it's been a game changer, and I can't see where that's a lie. We've sat through presentations. We've been able to get into a live demonstration model and mess around with it, and it's really fabulous, just to be honest.
How quickly would you be able to get this software and get it installed?
Okay, once
If you were awarded.
if we were awarded, it's pretty quick. I'd say within 10 business days. That's just how quick it is. Make the financial transaction and we're good to go. It's cloud.
Hardware.
Yeah, they're pretty close by.
So this is something they would come to your center and then use like a iPad
They
or
can
something?
sign in with a touch screen. If we have an event like our health fair, everybody's given like a little scan card.
Yeah.
As part of their membership, which we don't have a membership. We did away with that a good long while ago. But they scan their card to scan into an activity. We know they're there. It's a safety thing. We know how many people are in the building. If there's an emergency, that's cloud-based. We can log into an app outside the building and know, okay, there were 154 people signed into the building today. There's only 130 of them out here. We better start looking for people. And you think that we would never need that here, but you just never know.
You
what tomorrow
would
holds.
sometimes.
There's a lot of crazy people roaming the streets. So
one of my concerns would be, you have older folks, will they adapt to the smartphone technology, and how are you envisioning this? Because as we continue to get the younger generation ages, they're really comfortable with it.
sure,
But we have older folks that, are still struggling.
that's a very valid question. Last year, we actually started working with Perry Central. We had them come a couple times throughout the school year and just sit with seniors and do different things, like show them iPhones and Androids. And around Christmas time, we showed them, they showed them safe ways to do online shopping using VPNs. The Sheriff's Department come and did a presentation on that. So I think that that's something that we could definitely partner with them again, more driven with this software, more purpose-driven.
Plus, it does not have to be any more complicated than like one of those little gym things to go in the gym.
Sure.
You scan it,
Just a pod.
Absolutely.
you scan it, and you would, you're there for crafts. You see it, you touch it, you're in.
A lot of
Your
it's more on the
information's
back end.
already
It's
there.
on, a lot of the information is more on your end.
Yes.
that you-
It's very basic on the front end of it.
If they want to get more involved with it, they could access the app, check out the schedule and so forth,
Things coming.
things
Mhm.
coming up and so
Yeah.
forth like that.
It is.
Wouldn't
It's
have
very
to,
nice.
because he still does do paper and.
Sure.
Yeah, but you would be willing to sit down with,
Absolutely.
No.
you,
Right.
Majority.
sit down with people
Sure,
a few times and show them that you can do this and this and this,
absolutely.
or even pick up that piece of paper over there.
And, you know, things like if the center's closed for weather or, you know, power failure or
They
whatever,
can send out text, emails,
calls.
calls to
You name
everyone
it.
and
So that's very nice.
So when they start going, what's making all that noise? I can't figure it
they
out.
can call
It's
you
your
on your
message, right?
phone. See, that's the beauty of this, Randy. He
I
can send you,
just-
he can send you a smoke signal.
I don't need that.
And the
I
Pony
just-
Express will come
I
right
just
to
know
your
how
house.
that works. There's a noise in here somewhere.
Sure.
Well, but they can contact people other than just a text too. You can call a home phone if that's what you
I think it's a good thing. It'll help you to get organized and
Sure.
eventually you'll get the adapters and I think you'll.
Sure. I think it's great.
Efficiency.
Can you verify your
accuracy,
501c status?
Yes.
C3, so you said C3, and where will you receive your matching funds from?
Well, we've applied to the Community Foundation for the same purpose, so we're hoping that those funds will come through. If not, we have a reserve on it.
Okay, so you will be able to come up with your
Yep.
matching funds. Thank you.
We've got it. Okay. Is there anything you want to add?
So
If it makes you more efficient, then you'll have more time to do more
You're
activities.
requesting
Well,
5,000,
and
but
it-
this
and
is
it
10,000
allows
total.
with
Is
this
that okay?
information at a
Just a little over
fingertip
10,000.
to be able
Take
to
out these.
apply for other grants and appropriations and things more easily. Even though we try really hard at Perry County Council on Aging to be as self-sufficient as possible, with trips and fundraisers and all kinds of things that we're doing to keep ourselves afloat, it will keep the data right there where it's not going back through a year's worth of papers to see how many people showed up at the bingo in January and how
Sure.
many people showed up.
You can
at the
prove
big-
your.
What's working and what's not
service
working.
provided.
Yes, where the needs are.
Yes.
Meals, Christmas meals, Thanksgiving meals. You know, we just had 96 people at a luau party. You know, that information's going to be there, so we can go back and use that in planning for food for the next year and so on and so forth. So-
That is a super tool because you
Yeah.
always, the next year you go, how much did we buy?
Well,
And
I know
what's-
there's
who
some
showed
people
up?
here involved in education, not me being a retired teacher. I know the value of data-driven information. And if you're gonna apply for any grants, you better have it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And not really,
And this will
well,
help you
I
with
went
that,
through
too.
100 years worth of papers here and I hope it's right. It needs to be, you know.
Exactly.
This will
How
help
often
you
will the
with other grants
software need to
also.
be upgraded?
Every 5 years.
And do you know what the cost is and how would you plan to pay for that?
That I do not know, but surely with freeing up money in other areas, the maintenance is relatively low is what they've told us. Unfortunately, I don't have those numbers in front of me.
But you would intend to continue that.
So is there an annual fee to this service or not?
There is an
You're at
annual
it.
fee, that was in the original quote that I sent you all. I don't think I've got, do you have it? in front of you?
Yep.
I think I have, yeah, I think I got it.
Okay, the annual maintenance fee is, the first year is covered, the second year, it becomes $1,500.
And do you have, you don't currently have any plans of how you would pay for that?
We do, actually. That would be our bus trip revenue.
That's part of your budget,
Yes.
part of your budget, you have it.
So 1,500 a year.
Very, very inexpensive, very feasible.
Any other questions?
You gave us a lot of information. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate everything you do down there, nothing but good things.
Thank you.
Next one up, Tell City Historical Society. I've got Kim down, so you can't speak.
Please, let
No, you got,
I get started talking, might be for an hour.
you got 10 minutes. Get that time. You want
Yes, please.
a coffee? Sure.
Thank you.
Get the timer. He's got 10 minutes from the time it starts over there.
I won't push it till you get to me.
Nice shirt.
I won't hold that against you either.
There we go. I think you gave me two.
No, there's two.
You're welcome, thank you.
Because we're efficient.
All right, I'm Bill Simpson, and this is Kim Hawkins. We're board members of the Tell City Historical Society, and we're here to request ARP funds totaling $4,500, which is half of the purchase amount needed to bring us into the 21st century. I don't know if anybody here is partaking of our museum up here. It's an excellent resource center for the history of the Tell City area. We also have extensive records on all things throughout the county. Unfortunately, we're working on technology from before the year 2000, and this is to bring us up to the current where we need to be and in the future. We're wanting to digitize our records. Now, some of the records that we have up there that I don't think anybody knows we have the court records, the Perry County court records. We have midwife records, insanity records, justice of the peace records. We have wills. I can't read my writing. Guardianships, yes, guardianships. We have all kinds of court records. And the question is, how did we get them? Well, they were here in the courthouse, stored in the back. And we got a call one day about 15, 20 years ago, and they said, people are asking to go see them, and we know they're stealing things. They said, come and get it. Because they said, we know you'll keep it safe. And it is safe. When they come up and they look for these records, we're there with them. We're open a few times a week and on special appointment. Just Sunday afternoon, somebody came up and wanted to see the will of Adam Shoemaker from the year 1809. He was actually a teacher of Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln attended school in the northern part of the county. Adam Shoemaker's cabin, by the way, was moved to Shubel Village out there. So, but it took us a little while, but we did find it. And we have an old copier there. They ran the copies, and they were happy as can be. And out the door, they went with a big smile on their face. And that's what we do. We also have extensive records on old businesses, people. We have some genealogy. Most of the genealogy, we work together with the library, and they do an excellent job out there. But we work with them very well. It's an excellent resource center, and we simply
Need some help.
we got to move forward. We got to digitize this stuff because I'm 71, and most of the members are in their 60s and 70s and beyond. And one of these days, we're going to be gone, and who's going to be able to find this stuff? And we want people to be able to go into the resource room upstairs, type it in on a new computer, bang, there you go. If you look at this sheet right here, that's the top sheet. Number one, are they numbered? No, they're not. Mine's numbered. Okay. The top one is just a new computer. Ours is 12 years old. The second one is an overhead scanner. We can start scanning things and indexing them where people can grab onto it. We have a scanner for the iCloud or the cloud, a new printer, which we desperately need, and that's some ink for everything. The bottom of the page is a scanner for negatives. We have a host, thousands of negatives that we have had, and also from the Tell City News. They were getting ready to throw them out. We cabbaged onto them. We got them. But we got to, you can't get them developed anymore. We can get them and catalog them. And we got the people willing to do it. Next page, top is a label printer, which we need. And then the second one on the second item on the second page is a reference computer, which would go upstairs. We need a computer downstairs in our office, but upstairs in the reference room, we need a computer there where people can go in there and get onto it. The next one is the printer, which automatically files things. It's much better than the one we have. One we have is hard telling how old it is. On the last page, on the third page, Our building is actually two buildings. The old red brick building was built in 1916. That is the last Carnegie Library built in the state of Indiana. And we have done a lot of work on it. It's in good shape now after a new roof, new plaster, I don't even want to get into it. And then the new section was built in 1967. It has two doors. We've had to replace the lock on the front door. Tony Thomas did that for us. And the lock on the back door is a keyed entry. We allow certain people from society to get in there. Instead of giving them all keys, we give them all keypad. Well, the one we had there was about 15 years old. It went down. I called the company and they said, I'm sorry, but we don't support that anymore. You're in an end-of-life situation on your lock. I said, okay. So I went down to Tony. He threw us up an estimate. And that's where he would put it in, install it, and he would back it up. So it's that simple. Total of everything on here is $9,011.14. We're asking for your consideration on half of it. And we'll cough up the other half somehow, somewhere. We can get it.
And you are a 501c3? Or?
Yes, we are. Any questions?
So you,
Do you need the laptop or would any other? The reason I asked this, I got educated here about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Newer computers, and you can ask Mr. Jarbo sitting in the back. It's called a nuke. Very small, very efficient, very powerful, and very cheap.
How big's the screen?
Big as you want it to be.
Greg?
Get any monitor.
But it's small.
The
Everything's,
monitor's that big?
No, computer's about this big.
Yeah.
Monitor's however big you want.
it doesn't get hot. It doesn't need the big fan. It's all electronic. It's
What
just,
about a keyboard? I mean,
Keyboard.
it comes with a keyboard, but the computer's like that.
in essence, your big space is your keyboard and your monitor. And the rest of the device just attaches to the back of your monitor.
And what are those called?
Look at this.
Nukes, N-U-K.
Match this. Okay.
The laptop is,
We're all
we can take it home.
Okay.
Portable.
If you need portability is one thing.
That's what I
If
did.
you don't need that, those little devices.
Yeah, we need some
We could use
portability.
that upstairs.
Yeah.
The nuke we could use upstairs.
'Cause
I didn't even think about it.
I wasn't even aware of it.
Yeah, it's about half that price.
Yeah.
Oh, where's the
Well,
one
look.
but
upstairs?
she was wanting the portability, the
For the laptop.
And it's not portable, that thing's not portable?
No,
No,
she
it's
said
just
you could
like
put-
this one right here in front of us.
She said you could put that one
No.
upstairs and use it.
The laptop we have, it goes to different places. Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything else? Any other questions?
Does he have any time left?
We also, one other thing which would be very interesting,
That's an i3.
especially you, Becky. We have aerial photos that the Forest Service had gotten rid of from 1958 and 1968. Have you seen those? 2 foot by 3 foot photos. There are probably 300 of them up there.
Mhm.
And they put everything on a computer. They digitized it. Didn't need them. And by luck, we got hold of them. So if you want to see, if anybody would want to see a piece of ground in Bristol from the year 1958 as it looks from an aerial view, we've got it. And people have seen that and they're
That's
amazed.
interesting.
They want to see this stuff.
Would they provide you the digital copies so that you could have those on your computer?
No,
They
they put everything on their computer and
I'm
these,
thinking, would they share them with you?
say the what?
Share those digital images with you so you would have those available rather than having to dig through the photos.
The digital images are nice for what they need. But from my point of view, it's so much better to use these big photos. I mean, it's right there and you're not looking at a computer screen and having to enlarge and go like that. It's interesting. You would find it interesting. And we have put it in the newspaper. Some people come up and look at them, but
It'd be interesting to see if you lived in the country, who owns your property,
right,
what,
where the barn was, where the well was, where the road was, we got all, it's 1958.
you would actually be surprised because there are people, and myself is one of them, is I dig up old bottles.
Yeah.
And the old bottles were put down the outhouse. The outhouse had to be so far away from the house,
I know guys.
and they are on plats, Main Street is full of outhouses. I'm just gonna tell you right now.
Mhm.
In Tell City, there,
Yeah, they are, yeah.
but I can't dig.
Yeah, I was digging through the files the other day and found out on the resort that used to be at the northern part of the, northeastern part of the county on the Crawford line. It was a resort with 125 rooms.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the,
Sulphur Springs,
is that so, what's it called?
White,
Was it something with white?
White, it's got white something, yeah, White
Springs or something.
White
and
Springs or
it's
something.
so bad.
We have an extensive file on that. We got so many file, we need to get this stuff where people can access it instead of just digging through and whatever.
Greg said that he could get us a better deal on some of this stuff, so.
Yeah, I told them their prices and stuff, if you average them out, probably they're close.
Time's up.
But I'll give you a quote to try to get you some better stuff, but I'll also give you a couple of names so that they can quote as well. That way you get the best price.
Any help's appreciated.
Yeah.
All right,
Guys,
That's what I have.
that's what I'm asking for. Thanks.
Thank
Thanks for your time, we appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the work you're doing.
Yes.
Next one up is the Oaks Traditional
Thank you
House.
for saying that.
Thank you for serving on this committee. I wasn't sure how many of you there were, but I was making enough, so I'll let you pass those out. Okay. I'll first start off by introducing myself. We're with the Oaks Transition House for Women and Children.
You're welcome.
We're located on Fifth Street in Hamilton. And I'm Jenny Bruner, Executive Director. And they are part of my fundraising team. I might say they're doing a fine job. We're getting off to a good start. October 24th, we put in for we received our 501c3, and we've been going full steam ahead ever since.
So you have received your 501c3 then?
Yes, we do. And we're incorporated with bylaws, and we have a fully up and running board of directors. You'll see on page 3, and a pretty good looking volunteer base. So let me just start with saying the 3 objectives of what we're trying to do here is to provide safe temporary shelter for homeless women and children, with the exception of those involved in current domestic violence situations. And the reason that we made that decision was for safety. The women would not be safe there. We feel like we can get them to crisis connection and get them to a safer place. That's just not something that we want to entertain at this time. Stabilize participants in the areas of shelter, food, and health, both mental and physical. They'll have criminal justice issues such as probation, court dates, drug testing, different things like that. So we'll be working with the women who have those issues. In education or work. This will be an individualized, needs-based program, and it can go anywhere. I said 6 months, but I'm gonna say like maybe 3 to 9, depending on where the lady is when she comes in, okay? In order to partner with community resources that we have out there to get them transitioned into longer-term stability, we're going to do an assessment with these women when they walk in the door. We're going to target their interventions to their individual needs. We will have scheduled programming from 8 o'clock in the morning, and it'll stop for lunch. We'll have other programming, and then they'll do dinner, and there'll be an evening class. Depending upon, again, if it's recovery, it'll be a recovery class. So if it's budgeting and they need to know how to budget or do their checkbooks or whatever they might need, it's going to depend upon the individual client. We are going to use a program called Trauma Informed Care, the model for assessment and planning process. We have our 3rd objective is to provide a support network for clients to help with transition and long-term stability. Things that we're going to provide support with them are community churches. We'll partner with them with SNAP, which is formerly the food stamp program, food pantries, Medicaid health insurance, housing resources such as Section 8, our local law enforcement agencies, GED classes. She has children, maybe she needs to be signed up for WIC. Recovery Works, which is our peer counselor component that we'll be using. LifeSpring Health System, Head Start, Birth to 5, and employment agencies will work with workforce development to try to see that these women, if they don't have a job when they come in, that they can get one, or go back to school, or both. You'll see that our mission is to provide safe and supportive housing on the second page to women with or without children in Perry County. We want to empower them to have a better future by promoting self-sufficiency with not a hands-out approach, but a hands-up approach. We want to help them to get where they need to be. You'll see that the three things we're basically asking for, our shelter is completely done. Carpets are clean, dishes are in the cabinets, paper goods, hygiene products, beds are made, toys are there, safety plugs are in, everything. Fire extinguishers, smoke alarms, carbon monoxide, everything is in place. We've done it all through donations. We've done it through our community service workers. We had them in to paint. They might have had a DUI or something and they needed hours. So we had them to come in and paint for us. So the things that we're needing now are our internet, which you can see on one of the pages what the cost for that is. You'll see PSC gave me a quote. Activating it, $200. Installation for internet, $89. And we have to have a landline. Cell phone service, even with, AT&T or whoever, is not always real good in Canton. And when you're talking about safety of women and children, you want a landline. So we were able to get that at reduced cost because of our 501c3 status. If you look on another page, you would see that the cost for the internet is $37.46 a month because we're nonprofit. And the cost for one phone landline is $25 a month. So we're asking basically for those things for 1 year cost, okay? For net and cost. And we're also asking at this particular point we are right now, we're gonna grow. This is not a thing that's just gonna stay at a couple women. We're gonna go, we're starting to grow. We're gonna start out small, we're gonna get everything down pat, and then we're gonna see what we need to do when our lease is up, because we are leasing an apartment. So we'll see when the lease is up in a year. I think it's actually the end of 2025. We'll see where we are then and what we need to do for growth. We think 2 laptops is important, and you'll see that I got a quote from an island from Anjan, how much those cost. And with the router, printer, and also his IT support, which is pretty important for putting in things that, my children, safety and protection things on there. I don't know if you call them firewalls or what you call them exactly, but things that would protect our children from getting on internet and sites that they shouldn't get on, and things that would concern us at this particular point. The women can, get on there and apply for jobs, apply for their social security cards, apply for their birth certificates, do their homework. I've had several inquiries, and one little girl came and gave me all of her stuff from a previous halfway house she had been at, and she said, this is what I want to do. I want to go back to school. And, she's already working at Goodwill, and she's wanting to go back to school as well. So we are asking for that. We priced insurance everywhere from online to where the Dove House and where all the other recovery centers have theirs. The best price that we found was here in town at American Family. And so our liability and our renter's insurance, you'll see, I think it's the next to the last page. Yeah. Is $985 a year. Now the building owners, they are gonna have insurance as well. We are gonna have renters, but the building owners that we lease from will have their separate policy. So we're asking for those fees for 1 year. And then last but not least, you should see on the last page our financial statement
up through today, you can see how hard we've worked and asked for donations. And our community's been very, very generous. And other communities have been very, very generous in helping us. Like I said, everything is in the shelter. There's nothing we need. Churches have brought in towels and sheets and paper goods. And so we just kind of need to start now. We are planning on opening, good Lord willing, November 1st with an open house at the end of October and get this thing up and going. Get our program started and, scheduling and so, any questions?
What is the amount you're,
Total asking for, I think I have a need page
I see,
where,
Yeah.
do I have it in here? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you add, total need just for the landlines and for the internets was $1,063.52, and then you would add the $985 to that. Sorry, I should have did that. And also, you would add the islands amount, which is $2,706.95 for his quote. I think we were at like 46 something when I added it up and
About 4760.
yeah, I was gonna add it and put it on
47.55.
47.55, yeah.
47.
So we would appreciate any help and any concerns, please feel free. We have a website up and running. We have web designers, we have social media people, and we're going pretty good. So
What about your provisions for backup the computers? Okay.
to back them up,
You
that's
got
something,
flash drives
Sure.
or the cloud or
Well,
whatever.
that's something Anjan will be doing,
Yeah.
taking care of. He's the professional
Yeah.
here. But there will be, I know there'll be backup and
Yeah.
and things,
The
but,
flash drives are pretty cheap
Yeah.
anymore, but.
right.
That definitely has to be done or you're gonna lose a lot of stuff on your computer.
No, we're planning on getting that down pat with him. He's gonna be our IT person and
Yeah.
he's pretty good.
I have a question about the match. So you need $4,755.47. So you would come up with half of that, or
Well, if you see our,
it's a dollar for dollar match up to 5,000?
Yes.
okay,
So the most
so we
we
already
get, the
have
funding
11,000 in donations. We don't plan on,
Well, I guess my question is, if your total ask is 4750, if your ask was 10,000, then you would put in 5, and we would put in 5. But is that
I think I understand the matching. That's why I gave you the financial
Dollar for dollar.
statement.
Yeah.
So
So it would be half of the 4756 would be the most we could provide.
Right.
Because
right, and we
need you to-
provide the other half.
Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to make it
Right.
So what are they
The
asking?
max is 5.
We will match up to 5,
I'm
but
not
then you would have to have
Right.
things for the other 5.
Right, exactly.
Well, do you understand it? Are you asking for 47.55? Are you asking for half of 47.55?
No, I was actually asking, it's my understanding we can ask up to 5,000, and we have to have 5,000 to match it.
Correct.
But you don't have that
$10,000
much
worth
in
of.
projects. If your projects total 4756, we can only pay for half of
Right.
that and you pay for the other half.
If you would have
So
had
they-
10,000, we can match up to 5,000,
So
for
twice-
the other 5.
yes.
Then
So
they-
what we
Okay.
can match would be
Okay.
half of
I guess I
4756.
misunderstood the
That's the
5,000.
way that
Up to
runs.
For you to
$5,000.
pay
That's what
half of
was
the project
confusing me
and us
because
pay
Yeah, me too.
I'm going, what,
So
I understand it, but I mean, I didn't know what you were
half
asking
of
for.
what you've submitted.
Half of what I submit.
Right,
Right.
if you would have asked for
So
10,000.
you will get
then-
half.
then
I understood it to be that I could only ask for 5,
So you will get 40,
Well, you
half of
can ask
47.55,
for
correct?
5, but you would need a $10,000 project
Because then you would.
in
pay
order to
5.
ask for 5, because we would pay for 5 and you would pay for
Lay
5.
that out,
Right.
everything we need, the additional items to be covered.
Or, this is the 47.
As of right now-
Provide up to half, and then you.
As of right now, you'll get half of
The other thing that,
47.55 if
Our
you want it.
rent's $300 a month, which is very
That's
reasonable for a 2-bedroom, fully furnished, 2-living-room apartment with washer and dryer and everything.
The other thing
So-
was it's supposed to be capital, it's my understanding.
Capital assets and equipment
Capital projects and
Mhm.
equipment.
projects.
And
Yep.
operational costs are not or
Okay.
something
Part
that
of
we.
it.
I mean, we have
identify.
transportation we're gonna need with the
So-
cab and, we're gonna need diapers for the babies that we can't get every week at Catholic Charities. We're gonna need baby food.
What I've
They
come
don't
up
have it always
with
at
in
food
the
pantries.
submission that it actually does not fall into operational would be
The
the cost,
laptops do.
would be the cost of the, what an island had submitted, the 2706, and then the actual, fiber activation fee, internet installation, and phone activation fees alone, $314, for a total of $3,021 in what is not, what qualifies and is non-operational, and then we would fund half of that, so that would be 1511.
15 something, yes.
Okay.
We just have to keep the rules the same for
It's fine.
everyone.
Oh, I understand.
We have to
This
grade
is the
it.
first time I've ever done this. I'll be honest with you, with matching
Yeah.
grants.
See, those are
So I thought if I wrote it for 5,000, then that meant I had to have 5,000.
Yeah, sure.
To
Then
match
your total project would be 10,000, and you would show us 10,000.
We would do
That's
half
correct.
of 10,000.
I understood it had to be 5, and then I should have wrote it for 10. That's my mistake, but, this is my first deal in all this, so.
You're doing fine.
I think so. We're up and running and going, and
You're doing great
we've
work.
got a wonderful volunteer base and
You're doing
That's a
great work.
great
staff.
project.
Everybody
you
in
guys
that.
Thank you,
do.
thank you very much.
Thank you for the work you're doing.
Thank
Thanks for the quotes and everything.
Watch for that girl behind you.
Do you have,
I got a wonderful bunch.
do you have
of
a
us here.
contact email in here or anything in case we have questions about this?
Yes, I'll give you my email. It's, theoaks.jenny,
All lowercase?
all lowercase, theoaks.jenny23@gmail.com. And, we have a website, which I can pull up on my phone, but it's theoakshouse.org, I think. www.theoakshouse.org. And then, of course, we have a Facebook page, so we're, all right?
All right, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thanks for the work you're doing.
Thank you.
Next one up is Perry County Fairgrounds.
Before you even start, all I know is I never had a turkey tender before in my life.
Copies? It's okay.
And at the Slicer Fest,
Whoops.
I'm wandering around
Okay.
and I got my turkey tender
Share.
to take home. I wish I'd about a half a dozen of them.
I don't have enough copies of
That's the most delicious things I've ever eaten.
Share that.
She's a paid person.
That's right.
Plug your,
Yeah, turkey tenders.
Oh, I never knew they were so good.
I'll just tell a real funny story. My kid, before the Sweater Fest, we were like day 2. He's in the shower and going, hot turkey tenders, cold lemon shake ups, hot chips. And I'm like, what is that noise? He's hollering in the shower. I'm like, okay, wait a couple hours till we get there. He was ready.
I'm Chris Temple. I'm the current president with the Perry County Fairgrounds. Kyla Schroeder's with me. She's the past secretaries. Large facility up there. Most of you guys have been there. A lot of projects going on. A lot of projects need to be done, some in the works. We just got to get people there to pay gate money. That's one of the biggest through the fair. My father takes gate. He says lots of times you see participants drive past the fairgrounds 3 or 4 times before they can find it to get in there. All we've got's a old sign with the letters we put in. I think the other problem we've got is the fairgrounds is at 99 Roy Finn Drive. Some people Google, it gives them 65 Park Avenue, which is the extension office over at the other annex.
Yeah.
So if you guys come up this year, I work with Tennessee Police Department and Perry County EMA, and we got their electronic billboards on each side. They're not allowed to do advertisements, but we did say caution, event interest ahead. And it seemed like we got a lot of compliments just finding the facility to begin with. We're up on a hill, struggle. So we had looked at an electronic billboard about 3 years ago, kind of shocked with the price. We couldn't fit it in the budget. And when this come up, I started venturing back into it again. This money would help offset some of the costs. So I got with Scott Strobel, which is from Tell City here. We're looking at donation from Mike Simon to help set the concrete and the main pole base. So that's deducted off there already, but the price he quoted me was $15,030. The last time we looked for it, we went after German American Bank, like they have at other fairgrounds or other signs. We couldn't gain no traction there, so I thought I'd stir the pot and go to Hoosier Hills, and they didn't want nothing to do with it either, so. Now Amanda Lasher's on the Fairgrounds Committee, and she's got some connections with German American higher than we do. So I think we're gaining traction there, so. Our thoughts is asking ARP for $5,000, German American for $5,000, and then we would come up with $5,000, so it'd be a.
So you're asking for 5,000, Chris?
And 501c7,
501c3.
C3.
And so if, just in comparison, the sign you're looking at would be similar to the size of the one at Hoosier Hills currently. We had some different estimates for the different size signs in comparison to the one at Ohio Valley Towing. It was a little bit larger, so we went for the little bit scaled down version that's a little bit cheaper just for cost saving purposes.
Where it states the fair starts tomorrow, that'd be the electronic part. The Perry County Fairgrounds is just the top board there. The white square below it would be.
That's my question, the little white.
That's where like German American Bank.
If we had a sponsor, if we had a main sponsor, it would go there. It can also be removed and the cost
And it
would
can
be
be removed.
reduced a little bit.
I don't even think I've got that in the quote because we haven't got nothing confirmed.
So is that electronic also?
No.
It's just a light. It's just a lighted board. I think it was an extra $400 to add that on.
And how would you operate this from phones or?
It's Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi?
We can change it anywhere in the nation. I think it comes with a laptop computer, the best I've understood.
Okay.
If you go past the fairgrounds, we're still advertising for an event that happened 2 weeks ago because we just haven't got up there to get the numbers down.
Yeah.
During the Saturday of the fair, me and her went down 3 different times to change
different
events, and then you're back up trying to get all your letters and run down there and do it. So
Yeah.
I think with fair activities, we can advertise any other community event that's going on. We're fortunate that Dixon's Auction and Dixon Realty, Circle S, you see their signs all switched to fairground stuff through the week. Complete Wellness donated his sign to us through the fair. So, and if we put something like this, we'd be, do the same if somebody else wants to support anything else. So, we've got many projects, so 5,000 on this would help, so we could use some of our funds on other projects. We got some speaker systems going, 2 different spots.
Okay.
Just a lot of maintenance to keep everything going up there. I know we're simple. We ain't got much paperwork to bring to you, but.
It's okay. That's all we need. You get everything. Thank you.
Yeah,
We appreciate what you do.
all right, thank you.
Yes.
Keep cooking them turkey tenders.
We're trying.
Which one do you want?
Have you had anything?
Go ahead. Next item up is the Celton Food Pantry. You know, we're saying pretty much all the time.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I have enough. Okay, I have enough.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
I think out of everything else we had. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Mary Garrettson, and I'm one of the volunteers at Hamilton Food Pantry, and I also do the majority of their grant writing. So we're asking today for $5,000 toward a box truck purchase that we have made. We purchased a used box truck and we use this truck to pick up food supplies from Tri-State Food Bank in Evansville once a week, and then also pick up things from our Feed America partners, and that's picked up twice a week. And we previously had a mid-bus that we were using to pick up the food. Especially loading the mid-bus down at Tri-State was very difficult because everything had to be loaded box by box. And with the box truck, we can now leave it all on a pallet, get it loaded much more efficiently down at the food bank. So community need and justification, between January 1st, 2024 and August 27th, 2024, we had 1,456 visits to the pantry, and that represented 3,517 people. Of those visits, we served 341 different families and 901 different people. And during the time frame, we distributed over 66,000 pounds of food to our TFAP clients, and those are the clients that qualify for the federal commodities that we provide. And then an additional 15,000 pounds of food through our outdoor market, and that's through Feed America, and anyone who is in need can come to the outdoor market. They don't have to necessarily qualify for the TFAP commodities. And we sometimes have questions about, are we serving the same people over and over and over again? So I did a little bit deeper dive into some of our metrics. And during the 8-month period in 2024, 36% of our clients have only visited one time. So that shows that there's really a need for that emergency food assistance. And then almost 50%, 49% have only visited up to 8 times. So that means they're coming maybe once a month. So only 15% of the clients are utilizing the services more than once a month. And our policy is that our clients can come up to every 2 weeks if they need to. And one of the reasons for that is we have a lot of clients that live in the housing, the HUD supported housing units, and are walking with a wagon or a cart or something. So they're actually walking to the pantry. And then I have some more statistics for the number of people that we've served over the last few years. And I went into the Savvy database, which the Community Foundation uses this for some metrics, and have some comparisons of the Candleton census area versus all of Perry County versus Indiana on poverty level, the 185% or below 185% of poverty level, child poverty level, and it shows that the Candleton census area has higher numbers in all of those metrics than all of Perry County and all of Indiana. So the budget for this box truck project, the cost of the box truck was $13,750. So what we have left to do is get the truck wrapped. So there is an estimated cost on the removal of the old vinyl, and we have a quote attached that shows what the new wrap would cost. The back door of the truck does need to be replaced. We have a quote for that replacement cost. We need to replace the fuel tank and the fuel pump. We have quotes attached for that. Estimated labor for putting on the new door and the fuel tank. So the total cost of the project is $19,017.66. So if you look at the second page, for the cost of the truck, we had a cash donation of $4,000 and cash from the sale of our midbus of $1,750. So we have a cash total of $5,750. And then the truck was, part of the truck was donated, the cost of the truck was donated by Fisher Furniture and Appliance. So they gave us basically an $8,000 donation to cover the rest of the cost of the truck. So we actually wrote a contribution slip to Fisher's for that $8,000. So that's how we came up with the secured funding of $13,750. So what we are requesting is $5,000 to help cover all of those remaining costs that I have listed, and the total is $5,267.66. And again, the timeline, the box truck has already been purchased. So as the funding is secured for these other improvements, we will work on those as we get the funding. And definitely we would like to have this completed by the end of the year. And I've got Patricia Jones' phone number and my phone number there, and then just a list of the supporting documentation that we have. And I do have our 501c3 paperwork. So
that's a 2005 model truck.
yes, it is. Yep.
Does it have a lot of miles on it, or do you know?
Do you know how many miles a truck has on it? I don't know. Off the top of my head, I have to get that for you.
It's so
It's on here.
Oh, is the mileage on the title?
because that's the project.
Sure. Yeah, that project is 5,000.
I think these are the same company for the wrap that did one for Council of Aging, I believe.
Jesse
Yes.
gave us the information on who to get a quote for.
They
the
did a very
wrap.
good job.
Has the truck been purchased already?
Yes, the truck, we've already
So
paid
you
for the
used-
truck. We used the $4,000 donation and the 1,700 from the sale of the bid bus to purchase the vehicle, along with the donation that was given by the business that we purchased the vehicle from.
So the 5,267 is what has not been done.
Correct.
So just speaking to the other committee members, I don't think that we provide for funding for something that's already been funded. The truck has been purchased. So I would see what we would be being asked to be funded would be the $5,267, and that would be half of that. And I'm not trying to be difficult, I'm trying to be fair to everyone, because the truck has already been purchased. We're to fund projects that have not been funded yet.
I guess we were looking at it as we've already invested $5,000 in the project. That was our match to get started. I guess we didn't realize that we shouldn't have purchased the truck before we came and talked to you, so.
Timing, it's the timing of this, because you didn't know before, And that's what we told one of the others, that we can only match half of what they were
Right,
asking.
so I guess we were looking at the total project cost
Yeah,
is $19,000, and we've invested a little over $5,000 already in cash, plus the charitable donation we got from the business. So we were asking for the 5,200, or the 5,000 to cover the 5,200 that's left. And we, in working with another matching grant through Indiana United Way, they did count the match that we had already invested into part of that project as part of our match. So I guess that's why I was under the impression that that wouldn't be an issue.
And I was just going with what we had done for previous applicants. We hadn't allowed that, so I was wanting to treat everyone the same.
See, what we get into is how far do you go back? If somebody did something 2 years ago and invested in something, and then all of a sudden they say, well, we spent $10,000 back 2 years ago, we recognize that as an investment towards this dollar for dollar match of $5,000.
Right, well, the purchase date was July 25th, 2024. That's on the title of the vehicle, so you can see.
But I'm just saying, it's the same as Jenny Bruner, I believe. She spent some money on some other things in there too. But her project actually has certain dollar amounts. And what we were doing was dollar for dollar matching on whatever these amounts is, up to $5,000.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is your contact information?
My phone number's on there.
I got it.
His phone number's
Okay,
on
and I
there.
think I have your email. Okay.
You're serving a lot of people, and thank you
Yes.
very much for
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Doing a good job.
Thank you.
Next one is Central Perry Fire Department.
I see Steve back.
Hello,
Yeah, he's coming.
I'm Dina Hubert.
And I'm Celton Dobie, I'm the president. Dina's our treasurer's wife, but she also kind of assists with the treasurer, Scott Hubert. So she's here to kind of tell about our funding problems, and then I'm here to tell what we'd like to do if it was awarded a grant.
So verify 501c3.
We are 501c3.
Thank you.
Proud to say Philip is also my son-in-law. So I want to start by telling you a little bit about Central Perry. We service 1,700 patrons in our great county, and I have a map here of the county. The Central Perry is highlighted in orange. Of the 1,700 patrons, this includes houses, farms, businesses, churches, rental cabins, the Perry Central Community, or Perry Central Schools, the Branchville Correctional Facility, the county highway garage and the ambulance service. And Central Perry also covers the largest amount of state and federal acreage of any volunteer fire department in the state of Indiana. In the blue highlighted is Anderson Township's fire department. They are highlighted because Monday through Friday for 12 hours a day, we have a reciprocal agreement with them where we help each other out during the main work hours. We also back each other up. So you can see from the map, Central Perry's coverage area is very vast. I realize that most of the population is probably in the lower portion of the county, but we cover a very large section of the county. A little bit about the department. When Philip came into our lives, he opened my eyes about a couple things. One was, I obviously know what the fire department does. I never realized what goes on behind the scenes of the fire department. They go fight fires, they respond to emergencies. But I came to realize that not only Philip, but many of the firemen are exceptional mechanics. These guys donate hours of their life to emergency assistance, to critical emergency response in our county. They change oil, rotate tires, do brake jobs. It's not unusual to see a fire truck at Philip's house where he's working on it in his free time. These guys meet monthly. They start all the equipment. They make sure everything's running in case it's needed there for an emergency. In my mind, these are the best that our county has to offer. Volunteer firemen are the best that we have to offer. They're critical for us. The second thing that was very eye-opening to me is when my husband Scott became the treasurer. Our dues that the patrons pay are not enough money to pay for the normal operating expenses of the department. Our dues we do not have enough money in dues to pay for utilities, insurance, just building maintenance, truck maintenance, fuel and oil. These guys have to fundraise just to keep this vital department operating in our county. They have an annual fundraiser with a shooting match and raffle tickets, which they do great with. But it blows my mind that something that's so important to us, so important to so many people in our county, is on the shoulders of 35 or 40 firemen and their families to make it operational. So they need good equipment. We need equipment that runs, and Philip's going to talk about what we're asking for today.
So in 2020.
I appreciate everything you guys do, and Anderson's in the same boat.
We all
Don't
are.
even,
It's not
don't
just
even
us
talk
being
about
good.
what it costs to replace a piece of fire equipment.
It's unreal.
And you're providing these services, and you're doing it totally volunteer, besides the
100%
hours you
volunteer.
spend in training, because today, they don't just hand you a hose and send you on the job, they expect you to be trained.
Right.
It's a challenge. And
Believe you
really,
me,
I mean,
It don't
we
go
recognize
unnoticed.
To speak of the
everybody's
training,
facing that, and it's public safety is critical.
the training is not even a small feat. Philip knows more about this, but even to get a new fireman, they have to spend hours and weekends to get certified. So it's really an ordeal just to try to get new people.
Hardest part's getting it to work in their work schedules, because everybody has
Right.
full-time jobs too. But in 2023, we purchased a used fire truck from Bardswell Fire Department. It's a 94 E1 pumper, but it was conditioned in 07. However, we have another pumper we keep at the Derby station, but both of them, it's a 98, but both of them is needing a lot of the hose replaced when we've been going to house fires, structure fires, or any fires. Seems like we can't leave there without blowing one or two sections of hose every time. It's just aged out. So on our quote, I'll pass these. I've got one up there. I should have made more copies, but we're asking for more hose to replace on both pumpers, to put new on each one. And our nozzles, we don't normally get to draft off a hydrant. We're always using pond water or lakes, creeks, whatever we can find closest. Sometimes we will have a hydrant, but that is very hard on our nozzles. We've tried to rebuild nozzles, and when you take the tip out of them, springs go flying and parts go flying. It's not something that I'm easily able to do. So And a lot of them's honestly just probably well over 10 to 15 years old. And on that truck, the lights that we use on the fire scenes, we've requested for 2 of those because the ones that came with the truck are at least 20 years old. If not, they're from early 2000s for sure, but the batteries aren't very good on them and they're not LED. So he's asking for 2 LEDs and the battery life's a lot better on them. They're 5 hours on bright and they're definitely a lot more user friendly.
So the total that you're asking for our help and funding is 10,000, what
That's
is
the total project, is 10,000.
Oh, total.
10,082.
So you were asking for us for 5,000.
Yes.
So 10,080, 10,000. And where would your matching funds, the other 5,000 come from?
From our truck fund account.
Or they also have their annual shooting match coming up, so. it'll be
We have the
great.
money in the truck fund now to pay for half. Does anybody have any questions on that?
How, is there a wait on these? I know every time you order something, it's, oh, it'll be in 6 months.
No, actually, the hose, he acted like everything would be within like 6 weeks or less.
Covered everything well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you for
Good
your
job.
consideration. With the exception of grants, the only way we have to, get new equipment is through fundraising. So they work really hard at it and they do a great job.
Well, it
So
sounds
we
like you've
appreciate
been
your
doing
time.
a good
Do you
job.
guys
appreciate-
want
we
these
appreciate
passed
what you
down?
do.
I just have 2 more moved.
Yeah,
Did
we
you
can
want
make
to?
copies.
I didn't want to.
Thank you.
Thank you
Okay,
very
we have
much.
this one, and then I'll
Thank
scan it
you.
and send it to everybody. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Next time I might know to make.
That's okay, don't worry, thank you.
All right. Thanks for all you do.
Next one up is Perry County Highway Department.
We've seen Mr. Steve before.
Under the transportation part of this, I didn't watch all the last movie. I've been busy. And I kind of went by what some of my guys told me.
So do they watch it?
Most of them
Is
do.
it entertaining then?
I think it is.
Okay.
Okay.
They
Main
think
thing,
it is.
that's right.
Anyway, they said, or I watched part of it, and you can apply for 55,000, is that correct?
That's what we set aside.
Okay.
Total for all
All
of
right,
it,
For
so-
county government,
for county government use.
Okay.
but I mean, you can apply it for up to that.
What I'm needing is a couple of salt beds. They're almost 20,000 apiece.
Didn't we fund salt beds in the last round with the?
Yep.
Did you buy some of that?
Yes.
So now you're looking for the.
Now, we've got one that's not worth rebuilding that we're gonna need, might need to use this winter if we're getting snow.
I thought you'd need chainsaws more than you need salt beds. Boy, thanks to the winds and
Well,
blowing the
yeah,
trees
that's,
down.
The way
they're
it's
a lot
been
easier
going.
to get those salt beds are.
Okay.
You've got that crystal ball out there, remember? You told us there was a crystal ball out there.
So
I
salt,
remember that.
Yep.
I wish I had one.
How many salt beds do you need?
I need two. I could get by with one if it's,
You can give us your full request and see.
well, the two salt beds would be $39,850 or $583.52.
Okay.
So happy.
39,008 what?
$39,583.52.
Did you say 583?
Yes.
583.52, yep.
584. And then this is a dollar for dollar match, so.
No, not for the
No.
county government.
Oh, that's right.
No,
You're
it's
right.
county.
I'm sorry. I'm off.
It's okay. We would take it though, if you want to do that.
Well, that'd be better than nothing.
584.
Yeah, we've got one that's not worth rebuilding. That salt gets underneath there
Eats
where
it
that
up.
chain's at, and we wash them out and put oil on them or some conditioner. It's supposed to keep the rust of it. You can't get that out of there.
You
Tell me what that
can't
is,
stop
'cause I don't know
rust
what
when
that
there's salt.
What's that?
A salt bed.
Oh,
I don't get
it's
it.
It goes on the back of the dump truck and puts out the salt, and
Okay.
after we plow the roads.
I can't believe you don't know what a salt bed is.
I've never had anybody, nobody ever told me.
What do you think
it's called.
slings that stuff on the highways?
But these,
With your hard hat.
like the ones we got last time, are stainless steel.
That's what I was, the question come out of my mouth,
Yeah,
that underneath mechanism was all stainless.
Right.
It
So we
lasts a
don't
lot
have the
longer.
problem of rusting away like our old ones do.
So how many trucks do you have? You have
We've got, well, now we've got 9 dump trucks that go out, and we've got 5 pickups that go out. We bought salt beds for 2 more pickups last year, so we've got 4 pickup trucks with plows on that can also salt.
Okay.
You can take these salt beds off too, and
Yeah,
they hang them, I think, don't you hang them
yeah,
during
hang them up.
the summer months, and it can be replaced with something else, right?
We've got enough trucks now. I mean, we're in need of trucks too, but if everything's running, we've got enough trucks that we can get out and get the roads done and get back off of them, you know, instead of having to work. We can only work so many hours. If we have a bad storm, we run out. We get in a situation where they work so many hours, they gotta go home for 8 hours and rest. And we really hate to go home when there's bad roads out there, you know. We like to get everything done. If it snows for several hours, it's, you know, impossible to get it sometimes.
Yeah, you're just defeating your purpose, and that's why you have to keep going out again.
Did you have something else?
No.
Sure.
Well,
Oh, he's got a lot of wants.
Well, I mean, now's the time to say
I
it.
need some guardrail. Let me find the price. $13,456 for guardrail.
How many feet is that, Steve?
200. Yeah.
Expensive.
There's no used guardrail available now. You have to buy new. They can't find any used.
No, because the farmers just bought it up and put it around corrals.
Cattle ground.
Mm-hmm. Best thing you can do.
There's also a grant open today, I think, that's open for 2 months, a safety thing.
I've seen that.
I'm going to apply for some guardrail through that.
Yes.
I don't know what we'll get anything or not.
Signs too.
Signs and guardrail, yeah.
Yep.
More arrows?
Oh, no, don't get any more arrows. We've got enough.
That ain't
These arrows on these curves, they just about drive me crazy.
That's not the county highway department.
I know it isn't, but oh my gosh.
There's a lot of them though. There is a bunch.
Oh, my goodness. Well, the crops are gonna come out starting next month, so there may not be as many.
Yeah. We've been losing a lot of signs.
Well, yeah, I don't know anything about that, Steve.
Okay, all right.
I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Next one up is Perry County,
Thanks for the work
Indiana
you do.
Habitat
Yes,
for
thank
Humanity.
You guys have a lot of good options to look at here.
Everybody has a need for money.
I will commend you on getting Bill Simpson done in 10 minutes. I don't know how you
It
did
wasn't that easy.
There you go. I got a few letters here. I did not know that Mary was on your team here. She is on my board of directors, so I just want to say that out the gate. When I came in, I saw her there. I'm surprised at that. This is a simple letter with a bunch of numbers behind it. Well, this is going to be a little bit of a different request. We are a 501c3. Perry County Habitat for Humanity. We build homes in partnership with people in our community. There's a few different qualifications we look at. One of them being that they are between 30 to 80% average median household income in our community, and a few other things. We're going to build a house at 48 9th Street in Tell City in partnership with Perry Central Schools. They build a house for us. We do a lot of the other work, utility connections, foundations, a few other things. We get the job done. So we build a house in conjunction with the family. They do different things, sometimes painting, sometimes sweeping up. You never know. Sometimes they're skilled at certain things. We build a house in conjunction with them. And then we sell the home to them with the mortgage that we provide. that mortgage, our interest rate is pretty hard to beat, it's 0%. So that is the financial blessing to the family. 0% interest rate, I don't know about you guys, but I do some pretty shady stuff, like a 0% interest rate on my house or any other properties I own. Where it's, that's a savings of well over $100,000, it's often $200,000 over a 30-year standard note. If you just went down to German American or Old National or somewhere else and got a mortgage, got a loan. So that is the financial blessing to the family. So after we sell them that loan, we take off our construction hat and put on our lender hat. We are a lender. I'm a certified loan originator. And then we hold an asset called a promissory note. And that continues to come back to me 360 times monthly payments is what I'm trying to suggest. So that would be the asset at the end of the project that we are holding. Our homes, construction costs are strange, and we find new and better ways to do things, and then other things get more expensive. So we're always trying to juggle that. With the numbers I have on the pages following the cover sheet there, is just the cost of the house that's right next door at 46 9th Street. And that project cost us right around $130,000 to build that house. Some numbers that we're not traditional, so some numbers will look strange to you. How did I get cabinets for that cheap? Well, because we know a guy. That's how we got cabinets for that cheap. And some of them were donated. So when we look at what we do, often people look at the families we serve. I feel like we do a whole lot more than that. If you look at 9th Street, I think some community leaders wanted that south end of town to have a little momentum, to get frankly spruced up, and we acquired 3 lots there from the Port Authority. We've already built 2 houses, and this will be the last lot to be developed. And in the time that we've been there, not only are those properties being put back onto the tax roll, but we are providing, adding to the housing stock of Perry County, which is, we have an issue with entry-level housing stock. These are new homes that are 1,200 square foot, 1,100 square foot. They're back on the tax rolls. Not only that, but the positive peer pressure that happens when we come into an area usually has a great benefit to the community. In the time we've started down there, we've already seen 3, that's not me, okay, 3 dilapidated structures tore down. Just because people are there at our groundbreakings, and what's that? Who owns that? What are we going to do about that? And if you're not in the neighborhood every day, you don't pay attention to it like that. So we see improvements in that regards. What's the last thing I was going to say? Oh yeah, and then just the opportunity it provides us to do that very simple, to gain hands-on, real-world knowledge of trades. We have a problem in America today where we do not have enough people in the trades right now. It's funny, not that long ago, I called my plumber, like, hey, when can you start? He's like, do you have anybody to come work for me? I'm like, I'll try to hire you here. So, it does provide an opportunity for kids to get an education in the trades. Obviously, this is a $130,000 project. We would, Christmas is coming. Do I have $130,000 in the bank today? No, I do not. But we are well within our cash flow plan for the fiscal year, and we are ready to start construction. I know it's a little bit different. I'm going to stop talking. Do you guys have any questions for me?
This right here, that's something that's already been built.
That is the house that was built right next door. Yes, sir.
Right next door, and what you're asking for is the next door.
Yes, sir.
And this is an idea of what the finance, of what all the charges and everything, which come to $130,000.
Yes, sir. What you're holding there is 46 9th Street. We're finalizing the plans for 48 9th Street, which is what I'm asking you with $5,000 today.
Was you here earlier about the matching? If you want actual $5,000, it has to be a $10,000
Yeah, so
So our matching would be 2,500?
And he's actually asking for 130 is what.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's asking
Set
for 130.
I'm asking you for $5,000.
Okay.
I'll raise the other $5,000
Okay.
and then some between now and Christmas.
Okay.
But he's actually, it's a $130,000 project.
I would love to build a house for $10,000. I don't think that's, well, not long ago, the team was saying that, we remember when it cost us $70,000 to build a house, and we thought that was crazy. And here we are,
Yep. Well, thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you for what you do.
Yes, take care.
Good job, Chief. I'll tell the board you did well.
Thank you.
I'll report back. No, I didn't.
I know what you're doing there.
No, his habitat board, I'll tell, I
I
said I
know,
would.
you're on it, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what I told him.
Tell City Fire Department, it's the next one. I got one for everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess it's right on the number.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Greg Winning, Tennessee Fire Department. I think everybody pretty much knows me, I hope. What we're like to request is through the county government services portion. We would like to request $15,500 for technical rescue, road rescue. Give you just a little thought here, what prompted us to look into this. If you remember earlier in the year, seeing a semi hanging off a bridge in Louisville and a firefighter hanging off a bridge on a ladder. Did we ever think that could happen that quick and that, no, we never, we have a bridge here in Canada, it made us start thinking of how many places we have that are way up off the ground. We don't have the equipment. To my knowledge, we don't have anybody certified in the county that has equipment through the fire departments. We feel the need for it basically for the good of the whole county. We would respond to anything higher angle, low angle, confined space, or any other rescue where that equipment could be utilized. Anything that ropes, conveyors, grain bins, farms, Wapaka. Give you an example, we went to Domtar before with our ladder truck. And the integral piece of the pie in this is we do have the large ladder truck that we get called anytime there's something like that. Well, we have the truck, but we just don't have the proper equipment. If we could get somebody to walk right off into our basket, fine, but you don't have the proper harnesses.
Yeah, one of those buildings,
You actually
14
have to-
stories high over there. I
If you
know.
have to rappel or do anything like that, nobody has it. We feel it's going to benefit not only all Perry County, but also anyone working or traveling through the county at any time. Like I said, I mentioned Wapaka, some of the other places like that that have very high angles, confined spaces, things like that. I know Wapaka has some members that are confined space trained, but from what I'm understanding, they don't do any rappelling or rope type stuff. So confined space would be a thing we would like to put in with the rope, so.
Yeah.
The projected date, we could start as early as when the equipment would get here and start with the training. I've already talked to two different agencies, one in Ward County, one private company out of Vandenberg County for the training part of it, and also possibility of some help from Owensboro Fire Department. I have a member that's a full-time firefighter in Owensboro. So ongoing training, maintenance, things like that, we're going to absorb within our department. So I wouldn't be asking for anything to maintain any of the equipment. I've attached the lists of what we've got, one off the internet and one through dealer, and then also one off of Amazon Business for an air monitor. That was the cheapest I could actually find. This equipment would be enough to support 2 rescuers, basically 2 people on ropes, and up to 2 victims at a time. Basically, that's double ropes, double equipment for everybody. And then 2 to 4 support members, that would be the people on the ground working with them. Like I said, the air monitor would be anything for confined space or where you'd have to check the air breathing or something.
Sure.
Obviously, we would wear SCBAs if the air was bad, but some of these tight spaces, if the air was good, the air monitor tells us good, we could go in there, so. The quotes I got, the quote I got from the dealer was a couple months old. And just by the two, I come up with 14,925 on one, and 14,999.97 for the other. I just rounded to the 15,500 because none of my quotes included any kind of freight, shipping, or anything like that, so. Any questions?
Are you 501c3?
We're a government agency.
Are you county government or city
We are
government?
city government.
Okay,
Has the
committee, this would,
city, have you been to the
I have.
city of Tell City on
I
this?
have not. This is a brand new project.
Okay.
This was our, yeah.
I always want to fund a fire department, but our requirements were for county government, not city government. But that's,
Sure. And with this, we're thinking this is going to be a countywide service, so that's.
understand.
I do get why you get it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking it did specify county.
We specified county.
And even the 5,000, what did it say? Did it specifically say 501c3, 501c7? Or
Yes.
did it didn't?
No, it specifically said 501c3 or 501c7. And then the second portion of it was county government.
And the governments don't fall under the 501c.
No, you're a special, I mean, schools are the
And you
same
don't
way, you're a
have
special
any-
category.
Like
You
cemetery
operate-
is a 501(c)(3).
We have an auxiliary that is actually a 501c. It's a fraternal, tax exempt. I don't remember what the later designations are, but
The letters
now that would.
There's 3 different ones I think this is open.
Yeah.
But this
Especially
this
a
would
lot
not,
of different ones.
we haven't even thought that far ahead with that one, because we don't have
Yeah, I
we
just
don't have
The match.
don't think
the.
there are other Tell City.
Have any of your,
As far as what you asked about going to the city, that's my next approach. And budgetary wise, with this amount, I think it can be done in about a 3-year period with my equipment budget. But that's gonna take 3 years to get there, if I do it that way without asking for a lump sum, and
are any of your volunteer firefighters trained on rope rescue at all?
we have one that has been a repelling
Yep.
guy forever, and he's really the one that's.
I know when Mark Tannenberg was there, he was.
Yeah.
Because he's the one who taught us over at work and
Yeah.
to repel.
Let me back up. I have one that is, he's Kentucky trained because he works at Domtar.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if Indiana,
Will recognize
yeah,
it.
Indiana fire.
Yeah.
Them in Kentucky they don't talk well together. So some certifications in Kentucky won't carry to Indiana, and Indiana won't carry to Kentucky.
But I think the one there was probably just industry
Yeah.
because of what we were doing, That's very intense training.
Yes,
It's a
very much.
week's training of 12 hours a day and.
Yeah.
And you come down those sides of those tanks.
Yeah.
Repelling.
Yeah.
Whether you want to or not.
And this would be up to 200 feet. So,
Mhm.
surely God, we don't have anything taller than that really.
Mhm.
Water tower, things like that. Hopefully that wouldn't ever be up.
So my next question is, and you probably haven't done this yet, but Tell City is Tell City's fire department. If we came up with some type of funding on this, are they comfortable with their equipment going into the county? I mean, with something like this here, because I know we had in Central Perry and we had Anderson in here, and then you guys cover here, and then I think Rome's got another fire department out here. And I know everybody kind of has their service area they take.
I would love to actually see a joint fire department, members from each fire department in the county get involved in this.
Yes.
And that's why I said we
But you
have.
have
we
the truck is what you've got.
Right,
You
yeah,
need
we
that.
have the truck, and that's the major part of it. We've been to, Branchville with that truck. We've been to, actually Bristol with the old one when the mill burned.
You went to Domtar.
Lewisport, so so we don't have a problem responding everywhere. And like I said, if we could do a joint, get members of each department trained in this and work with the equipment, I'm great with that.
It might be something to consider for the entire, because I think we're gonna have to think outside of the box on these fire departments.
I agree 100%.
Because they're all struggling. Everybody, the equipment's too expensive.
Aaron has, I know what he's talking about with hose.
And it's a service to the whole county, not just one specific area.
Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of fires, but then the equipment gets old from setting in.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You still have to maintain.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Stay safe.
Yeah, there's one guy left.
Somebody start the timer.
Can you talk? I think
we had-
Kenny owns the,
Am I on your list?
Who are you?
I'm Brandy Hess with the Perry County Museum.
No, but you're on there now.
You're on the list.
I emailed you on August 20th.
Did I send you back a response?
No, sir.
Then I'm guilty.
you're,
Start,
Okay,
because I'll let you do
you're
it.
good.
Thanks for your patience, Brandy.
Oh, she's,
Yeah, she took the place of you, Randy, sorry.
you're moving down, Randy.
She better be good.
She's got her paperwork here.
Brandy's always got her stuff in line.
Glad that you said that because
Thank you.
You left one empty here. It's her.
It was for a reason.
I promise. I emailed
Yeah,
on
you got,
August 23rd.
I think I've seen the email, yes.
to everybody?
Just to you. I
You
called
said yes to
just what
me.
you had. Yeah.
Okay, then I'm the one to blame.
He's guilty.
All right. Well, my name is Brandy Hess, and I'm with the Perry County Museum, which is the former Perry County Courthouse in Cannleton. And we are a 501c3. And I am respectfully asking for $2,500 towards a renovation of 2 exhibit rooms with a project total of $5,000. And this is actually an ongoing effort. Renovation is an ongoing effort that we initiated in 2018 to restore the museum room by room. And it includes repairing the peeling plaster, peeling paint on the walls. They scrape it, sand it, and primer paint it. Putting down new flooring. The flooring is the old asbestos tiles. We can't do anything with that. So the best option is to just recover it. That flooring has already been purchased, so that's not part of this ask. And then also putting in new track lighting that's museum appropriate and it's LED, so you can turn those towards the exhibit spaces. And let's see, and then the new electrical work for those rooms. A lot of times our museum rooms have some, I'll call it original electrical, probably to when it used to be a courthouse. The building was built in 1897, so it's nearly 130 years old. So I commonly say that it's our oldest artifact, or it's our biggest artifact. And as with any home or building that age, it requires, constant renovation and maintenance and that sort of thing. Let's see. The Perry County Museum is open to the public free of charge on Sundays from June 1 to October 30th, and by appointment and group tours along. We're operated by a volunteer board, and we're sustained in community grants. And the number of people to quantify, but the museum serves as a vital community resources by hosting events, having class trips, youth and community and tours, while also attracting many out-of-town visitors. So the expenses I've outlined in a chart. These quotes are based on receipts from previous work that we've done. Like I said, we had done this throughout starting in 2018. So those are looking through receipts. This is an estimated quote of the project. And the timeline would be starting probably in November, whenever we close for this season, and ideally being done and ready to go by the Dogwood Tour in April. I have included some photos of some completed work that we've had done, so you can kind of see the work that I'm talking about, with having a ceiling fan and the lights, and the walls look nice and crisp and the flooring looks nice, and then showing some pictures of the 2 rooms that need some work. So I believe that building had a major
in the 60s, when it was still the courthouse. And so even looking at that, that was, 60 years ago. And probably the light fixtures and flooring in that room, that's when that was done.
So how come you got asbestos tile?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was popular at that time.
Gosh, I can remember going in there and when it was a courthouse, I thought I was in a castle because you had to climb those stairs.
Yeah.
When I was a kid,
So
everything was big then.
I have a question.
Sure.
Who's doing your plastering?
Well, that was, let's see, I think was it a Kaiser who did it last time?
I say that's a lost trade. You're trying to find somebody.
Yeah,
to do that.
Yeah.
It's really hard to.
I think the historical society just had to do that.
Yeah, I know
They have the same issue.
they scrape it and then they just kind of
And
skim
a lot
it
of it
and then they
becomes,
sand it.
it's kind of dead, the material is, and
Mhm.
once the flake and fall and dust.
No, that's what this is here, but.
Yeah, and they're trying to find somebody
Yeah.
that actually has that talent.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't easy.
That's another trade, that's a dying trade.
Okay, so it's 5,000, and so your ask is 2,500.
2,500.
Correct, okay.
Yeah. Is your contact information here, just in case we have a question, or?
I'm sorry, it's not, but it's, my phone number is 812-549-5954.
Okay.
And my email address is just Brandy Hess altogether.
Is it with an I?
Yes.
Okay.
At Gmail.
Thank you.
Thank you for being patient, Brandy.
Thanks for all the information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Appreciate it.
consideration. Yes,
Thanks,
thank you.
Brandy.
And one more?
Yeah, me. You will get up at the podium.
Are you county government services?
Yeah, but my amount's gonna be more than everybody else's. Be kind.
Liquor store.
I'm not sure. Especially gave me everything I want. I don't get any exemptions, and I only got 3 of these things, so you're gonna
That's
have to
okay.
share them.
Well, that's your first drive.
I'm sorry.
Right.
This is how it's
No,
gonna
it's
be.
better to save.
Yeah, I'm saving a tree. I bought these individual sheets.
I like it.
I tell people, newspaper that raised my kids and for 38 years. 2 months.
This is what
3
I'm
months.
looking for.
2 days and 6 hours.
Guys on the council.
I've got it down.
Just spare that time.
Lots of preparation.
That's pretty impressive.
Okay, as you're all aware of, the county is in the process of shutting down the actual solid waste district, restarting it back up as a county operation. Let me get the glasses here so I read this properly. One of our challenges is the process has been handled through the years and the efficiencies. I put this document together. The solid waste district was formed August 1st, 1990 by an ordinance passed by Perry County. The organization has continually provided service to the residents of Perry County. Perry County Commissioners has an interest in streamlining, bringing some efficiencies and best practices to the operating of the waste collection unit. Areas targeted for improvement are accounting, revenue management, maximizing revenue received for collected materials, and streamlining the waste disposal. I'll start first with the accounting and the revenue. What we're changing is that rather than tags being available at locations, we're selling them through vendors, so we will receive 100% of the money when the tags are dropped at the vendors, so we don't have to worry about collecting fees or anything at the sites. So we can concentrate on the fact to make sure every bag of trash has a tag on it. We issue invoices. They're paid timely by those who are providing service, and we appreciate the community working with us on this. We record the numbers on the tags, so we have an inventory of who has what tags, where they're at, and how they're being dispersed. The next thing we look at is maximizing revenue. Right now, we currently pick up plastic, and it's we take every plastic item and we collect it. We actually do some sorting. In areas we have bags that people just throw in and they say it's all plastic. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But it takes labor to do that. So what we need to do is we need to get it sorted by those who are bringing the plastic there. Right now, we don't have it set up. We need to be in ones, twos, and if we continue to go with others in the other bins. The difference is when we clump all of our plastic together, we get 3 cents a pound out of it. If we separate it, we can get up to 16 cents a pound out of the number one, 12 cents out of the number two. We've got to have containers, we've got to have, and we cannot take our workforce and have them do all this sorting. So what we have to do is set up containers or locations where the community residents come in and put their plastic, they actually sort them and put them into a bin. That's one of the areas that we need to work on. And then what we have currently is extremely small containers. As an example, they are small and you may put 5 bags of trash in, then someone needs to go grab the Bobcat, move that, dump it, come back and put it in. So what we find ourselves doing continuously is this employee has to come over and dump it, come back, set it down. He goes off, another truck comes in, throws 3 bags in, another throws 2 bags in, then he has to come do that again. We've got to get bigger containers so that we can fill them up and quit all these multiple trips.
Cut down on the manpower.
Yeah, and what we end up doing, and if you just envision this here, if I have a football team and I need to get it to the game, and I only own a sedan, which hauls 4 people, I'm going to drive it and I'll take 3 players. How many trips do I have to make to get my team to the game, and then I got to get them back home? Whereas a bus answers the question. And that's one of our challenges that we've got up there in solid waste right now is we're doing too much movement back and forth, and it's taking too many man hours, and it's not efficient. And we find that not only in the container size, but Cannleton doesn't have any compaction equipment at all. So it's dumped in an open top device. What that, and talking with the vendors, if we get compaction equipment in there, we'll reduce the amount of trash by 3/4. So in other words, for each trip we'll make compacted, we would have to make 4 trips uncompacted. So what that in essence does, if we're paying $250 for a trip, it was costing us today $1,000 for 4 trips. So the compaction equipment is crucial for us to get our efficiencies up. I provided on a screw compactor, which if you want to see those online, go look at it. There's some videos on them. You throw it in there, whether it's a couch, a chair, a desk. I saw somebody that threw in a metal desk, and what it does is it just keeps twisting. It's real slow, and it compacts it into a tube. So it will take like the beds, the chairs, these things that we have to dispose of, and it will actually crush them and force them into a tube. So it's a little more expensive, but it takes care of that need. And that's what I'm proposing for Cannleton. And then out at Branchville, you'll see a hydraulic one, and that would be just basically for trash out there. Currently, we rent one of those from Waste Management. And with that, we need replacement tubes so that when we fill one up, we pull it off, take it to the landfill, and replace it with another one so that we can continue our waste process.
And we need to stay consistent on the size.
Yes.
And not 1 week bring a small.
Right.
That
way we can
bring a large one.
Right. And that's what we're finding right now with Waste Management. They'll bring us a 40-yarder, then they'll maybe bring us a 25, then they'll bring us a 30. And then we constantly are questioning, how many bags is in that, and so we get consistent and we control what it is. So I put the pricing down there. Just as an idea, like an auger compactor, it's $110,000 and some change. Installation, it has to be mounted to concrete, and it has to have power taken to it. It needs 3-phase, but it will crush about everything we've got and compress it to 4-to-1 ratio. The holding units are $27,000 plus. each. We need 2 of them, so one's on there and one's off. We need to look at a waste conveyor so that you can pull up with your vehicle. Our employee can watch. You can offload it onto the conveyor in a safe fashion without moving parts so that we don't have someone finding themselves pulled into an operating piece of machinery. So it's a safety issue with that. And then the hydraulic compactor was out at Branchville. It's just a basic ram that compacts everything. And then the last thing I've got down here is 6 6-yard containers, which are bigger containers, so we can fill them up with recyclables and those things, and then dump them probably 1/6 the time of what we normally do now, so that our employees can continue to do their work rather than constantly dumping containers. Now, I understand this comes up to $278,000, which is way beyond what you're talking about. So it's, if we end up getting funding for a few larger dumpsters, so we get that started, that's a step in that direction. I intend to apply for a grant that's available. Whether I'll have success, I don't know, but I'm going to apply for it. It's up to $100,000 for that. And it's a 25% match on that, is what it is. So this is kind of a direction that I feel like we need to go. We may have some options out there as far as used equipment and potentially like used storage devices. Those tubes are nothing but basically a 4-sided with gates on both ends. So they're not overly complicated, and if you can find them in the used market, you can save substantial money. Whether they'll be there, but the key to it is, as Becky said, they have to be consistent. We need to have 40-yard tubes throughout our system.
Because if you don't, one week you're getting 40 yards, and the next week they're hauling 60 yards, but it's the same price every time. And
The cost is the transport.
Mhm.
The landfill fees is not where the expense.
It's the same.
Whether
It's
our tubes are
transportation.
empty or full. That's my proposal. Any questions? This was easy.
So you're saying you'll take any of this if it's considered? any
We'll
of
take
it?
$2. Maybe it's a $2 question.
$2.
Resolving the issue.
It's running really good. So, we ready to adjourn?
With that said, our next, we're getting together on the 10th, correct?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I can't be there. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, should we?
So, I mean,
Do it
that's.
on
I don't
another
want
day?
you to work around me. I mean, I'll fill out my rubric and share it. I know it won't be a vote, but at least I'll give my input.
Okay, that'd be good. So,
And I, just for clarification, so we had 3 presentations from county government. Is that, so the parks and the highway and the solid waste, those were the 3 county government?
yes.
They were what now? The Perry County Parks and Recs, what else, Mary?
The highway
Highway.
department
Highway
And solid
and then
waste.
the solid
and
waste.
solid waste.
Mhm. And how much money do we have in that category?
We set aside 55,000
Okay.
and 50,000 for the match on the dollar for dollar.
And these are the only ones who contacted you.
Yes.
And so this is it, it's closed.
There
Yes.
wasn't any more for
Yeah.
tomorrow.
So we have, the requests are less than the 50,000. So even if they're, am I right?
The way I would come up with it.
So if they're,
Really? Because didn't Steve Howe request 40,000?
no, not, the county
Oh,
government's
the
way over.
nonprofit.
The
Oh, the
nonprofit part.
nonprofit.
So-
I'm sorry.
so
I
there-
didn't-
For the up to 50,000.
Yeah. So there could potentially be a little bit of that could go
Go over
over
to
to the county government.
Yeah.
You know,
I would be okay with that.
It won't be a tremendous amount, but it,
I think we need to discuss the Tell City Fire Department. I mean, having had my house burned, I 100% support fire department. But we're going back to this, we're making exceptions for some people. If we didn't ask for say that we were going to provide grants for city government who provide the county, or Parks and Recs from Tell City could have come and requested for the soccer fields that the whole county plays on. They could have requested for the baseball and softball fields. The Tell City Police Department assists the sheriff many times. Derek could have come in here and asked for equipment, but that's not what we said.
I would say that my interpretation is that sadly they wouldn't be eligible unless the only loophole that if their auxiliary is a 501c3, they could run it
But
through.
he said
their
they
bill.
weren't ready for that because then it would require a match.
Oh,
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. He didn't
Yes, he
even have
did.
the match.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even,
I
he
mean,
didn't even.
Be glad to
Right.
take the leftover money and say the fire departments come and ask for money and give it all to them, but under this one, I don't think
I don't
they
think
qualify.
That's right. And he
It
didn't
wasn't
even,
part
yeah,
of the
he
criteria.
wasn't, basically, he really wasn't ready for the match one. Yeah. As much as I hate it too, I don't see that they would be
So the three
eligible.
county government is the highway department, solid waste, and Parks and Rec.
Yep.
And then did we all, I just want to make sure we're all in agreement on these things before we move forward and do our rubrics. With the Celton Food Pantry, what I came up with, half of what they were eligible for would be $26.34.
What we stated, and I remember doing this, is my intention when I made that motion was not to pay for somebody's utility bills, but for a capital project or
Yes.
equipment.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because,
you're talking about the food pantry.
Yeah,
the food pantry
she
was,
means the truck, the food pantry
Yeah.
truck.
I'm
but
talking
the
about
food-
the truck.
the
You're
food
talking.
pantry has already purchased the truck.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's, if we allow things that are already paid for to be their match, then we should open that up to everybody and say,
Everybody.
you don't need a match.
Yeah, that wasn't part of it.
So
I
what
mean,
was not paid for, half of what was not paid for is $2,634.
Right.
Is what I got there, what they are eligible to ask for.
Yeah. that's-
And then if we go back to
What
the,
was the Oaks?
if we go back to the housing unit, the Oak Transition House, that when we take out operational costs, which we said we were not going to pay for, half of what they asked for computing equipment would be $1,511.
Yeah.
Would be what they were eligible for.
1,511.
Yes, that's half of what,
That is the computer equipment. I think,
Right.
Right, that don't include the phones or the fiber internet or.
For the
it
insurance.
includes the computer equipment and the hookups for those things, but not the operational cost of operating for a year and not insurance for a year, but
Yeah.
so half would come up to $1,511.
Yeah,
And somebody stop me if I'm off on numbers.
Because that would
Okay, I
be
do have a
not
question
fair
about
to
that now that
everybody
I
else.
think about it. I think this Oaks Transitional Housing is located inside where the Kendleton Food Pantry is, where we had to deny last time because there were issues with the church owning it.
I thought they rented an apartment, but you're saying the apartment is.
The apartment
Yeah,
is
they
in
that,
the-
it's in that building,
in
so
that
I don't know
building.
if that's gonna be an issue. I mean, I'm
When
pretty sure.
when we were approached by the church at the old junior high, we were told we cannot fund any renovation. And this had to do with counseling.
Mhm.
I don't know, I'm just,
And this is not renovations though.
no.
Right. No,
The
this is.
computers would not be renovation if it's.
No.
I just didn't know if that mattered, if that's gonna be a
Yeah,
problem with
yeah,
Baker
I
Tilly,
know.
if
And
Yeah,
that's
I don't
that's
know.
located
I don't know.
inside something that's rented from somebody that's a church, I don't know.
It's leased and leased.
I don't know
It's double
all the
leased.
details there. We may have to
I would
ask
think.
that. Just
So
to be safe.
Sherry, what kind of number did you have for the food pantry, 26?
Then the,
For the
Transition is
food
rent.
pantry, I came up with $26.34.
it gets to be a mess. It's-
Okay, I'm missing.
But they're not making capital improvements
Oh,
to
fire
the church
department.
itself, which is what Randy said, the issue, the bigger issue
County
is that
highway
they make
department, what'd you have?
improvements to
The
The
total.
building.
the building.
Oh, his
That
total
was a
was
no-no.
Yeah.
I
understand that because you know what it's.
So I get a total of
needed
$36,145 in requests.
Come to a
What,
total
what,
of
we're doing like three different conversations.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
36 what?
I got 36,145.
We're talking about totals
The
for the
total.
nonprofits.
Yes.
That would be a total. If you funded them at a.
If they all were funded, yeah,
Oh, if they were all funded.
if they were all funded.
Yeah, what's eligible?
That's what's right.
What did you get, Mary?
36,145.
36,145.
So the one that won't be able to fund is the Tennessee Fire Department, and what else? Is there anything else on here? Boy, got quiet.
I don't know if the internet hookups and stuff there at that transitional house are gonna be an issue if that's owned by church. I don't know.
Oh, maybe the hookup part, yeah.
Yeah, that may be in question.
So maybe it would
That would be an
only be,
improvement.
maybe only the computer
we
would
could
be
ask that
eligible.
Baker Tilly.
Yeah, like Marie said, maybe the computer would only be eligible, the hookup would be an improvement to the building.
So there won't be any issue with the kennels and food pantry. They're actually located in there, but this is a thing, this is a
As long
box
as they
truck,
have
so
that.
it's not,
I think they have their own, you're talking about the food pantry?
well, there's two different things.
Yeah, but they're doing
They're doing a truck, so it's not on the building.
So, and the
Yeah,
owner of the
okay.
truck is the food pantry, I'm
Okay.
assuming, not a,
Okay, gotcha.
not a
Which is a
religious
fire-
organization. And then the other one, the transitional home,
The
She
laptops will
said
be owned by
they're
the
a
nonprofit.
501c3.
Okay, what about the hookups though, Randy, because I included
That
those.
would be
in
enough.
there.
That would be
Do
sent
we need
into
to
the
take
building.
those out or leave them in?
I mean, it's
I
kind
mean,
of a
hooking
permanent
up the
thing.
utilities to the,
Yes,
I don't know, you may have to ask.
I mean, you got landlines and internet hookup and all that, so that would be an
Hang on.
improvement to the building.
right. It'd be similar to putting in
I
an
hate it,
electrical
but
hookup.
that's-
We look at internet as a different kind of utility, but
Well-
it's the same as
Mhm.
if we provided electrical service to a
Yes.
facility,
Now-
and that's an
Two of their things were just activation fees. One was installation for $89. There was a fiber activation fee and a phone activation fee.
That, wasn't that 200?
The fiber activation fee was 200.
200,
And
yes.
I bet that does mean installing,
Yeah.
don't you
Is this a
think?
Baker?
I would think,
Is it a Baker
I
Tilly
think
question
so.
or do
We
we?
don't want to do anything.
yeah, we need to.
I can reread what they sent me before,
Mhm.
but I
Okay.
think that anything, they told us specifically on the other that we could not make any improvements to any facility
Okay.
owned by a religious organization.
So
The
then
question
the,
becomes, is that an improvement? Hooking utilities up to it.
I mean,
My guess would be
It is.
yes.
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
so the computing equipment is 2707, so we're down to half of that then.
Yes, that you could, the computing equipment, as long as they got an independent 501c3,
Think about
should
that
be
one.
fine.
They are an independent, she gives that.
Mhm.
And then that's more of a capital investment,
It's an equipment.
so it meets our,
So that brings
Yeah.
it down to 1353.48.
Yeah. 1353.48.
And then total goes to. We just don't want to get dinged on that.
No, that'd be a
we
good
don't.
In a
question
federal
for,
audit, you don't want to have anything.
that'd be a good question for Baker Tilly, because, if we do something we're not supposed to do, it's gonna come back on us and bite us on an audit.
so, are we comfortable with taking our rubrics? We'll do the same thing, we'll fill them out. And then we'll come back in on the 10th.
What time is it?
Go through them and I guess hammer out any of the final details, how you want to do it. And then I think a lot of these folks have projects they're ready to get started
Yeah.
with.
So, will they have to have contracts like everybody else, I would assume?
Yes, they
This is-
should,
they-
but
I would
it's a
think.
little, yeah. The problem of it is if right now, everything we've done is that we pay the vendors for providing the service, and I think most of these, we probably could still do that, and then just fill that in. And it's worked well for us because we haven't had a problem with the federal audit at all, because we've wrote the checks, so. I'd say we write the contracts, even though it's a little bit of a pain.
Mhm. It just has to be basic.
Thank you for doing that, actually, on all the other ones.
It's just a basic contract, right?
It's one put together by Baker Tilly that says, it's got all the representations in there to make sure you're not doing something and then you agree that you're gonna follow it. And you also, there's a certain SAMS requirement that you're not hiring people that owe taxes and they're criminals and
Right.
all kinds of things like that.
Basically.
Makes the
like
actual
The
person
department.
that gets the grant responsible for checking out. The federal audit guy asked that specific question and I sent him the contract and he said this will cover it. So we're good. And it was drafted by Baker Tilly initially. We
Just
asked them to
change
put it together and all we do is change the amounts, who it goes to and what they're doing. It's really fairly simple and then we,
And make sure they're following the rules too.
so they were okay with that. And so
So,
So do we want to talk about if there's remaining funds?
Is-
What do we do?
well,
Roll them into the
let's,
county
let's
government,
talk
or-
about that at the 10th. Let's go rate them, come
Well, I was
back on
just
the
thinking,
10th.
there's not even enough requests, so. there's already-
Even if they're all fully
Even if
funded,
There's still gonna
even if
be
they're
money,
fully
should we
funded,
go ahead
there's,
and
there's
say
$14,012.52 left that could go over to the county.
There's about 14,000 or whatever we come up with left.
I mean, that would be helpful because there's a lot of ask here, but, I mean, I'm just saying,
Sherry or whoever
what do
will,
you think?
they
Sherry?
send the rubric out with all the,
Yeah, thank you for doing that, by the way.
all of the people.
What do you,
Okay. So you'll send that out, Sherry?
what, the reverse check?
Mhm.
Because I hate to have another round. I mean,
No, I know.
There's so much,
We can-
my opinion is that there's so much need at the county for 14,000. I
Let's
roll
roll
that
it
over,
back.
but
Roll
that's
into
just.
that.
Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
That way we get done with this.
So
what's the
Yeah,
total?
I-
Why don't we make a motion and vote on that now?
Could we- Okay,
So
I
that
make a
that's-
motion that any remaining money from the community projects be rolled over to the county requests.
I'll second that motion.
Any other discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Opposed?
I mean, I think
and
we,
Sherry, thank you for doing this.
I think we're funding a lot of,
Easy.
we have funded a lot
I appreciate it.
this year.
Yeah.
A lot of places and helped a lot of people and organizations and I'm really glad to be able to do it.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have this money all the time.
Oh, it would, wouldn't it?
All right, with that said, I think we need to call it an evening.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then we're gonna be back on the 10th and. what are
Is
we
it
gonna start?
5:30?
We did this at 5:30. You prefer 5:30 to 6?
5:30 is fine.
5:30? And you're gonna drop your rubric off so we can include it. Okay, so, 5:30 on the 10th.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
I had it on my head.
I stayed in town about this